Hey guys, this will be a video showing you how I made my custom tilt bucket for the 924G and my additional custom things for it as well. Start off with the tilt bucket. I've put about 15 hours of work into it and it turned out pretty good. So we'll just start with it. As you can see, it's got the diversion shields for the dirt on top. So when you get your material, it doesn't go all over this stuff on the back here. You have the straight edge on the bottom, and then you have this little panel here, so when you tilt the bucket, all the material slides out that side. So it's like a slide. And you do have some wear plating that I put on there. Of course, I'm not the best with Plastruct yet, at least. I'm still working on it. I've got about 2 years on Plastruct now. It's not really that easy to build with it. I mean, it takes a few years to get used to building with Plastruct and start getting good with it. I'm kind of getting there, but it's alright. So let me just show you here. So here's the tilting function. I have an actual cylinder on there that actually tilts it, and you can see the mechanism that I kind of came up with. So there's a hinge right there, and there's a cylinder here connected. Come on. Cylinder right there connects there, and it connects to the bucket. And then you could fold it back down. You could position it any position you want, it'll stay there. And I'll show you the top here. I got hydraulic lines on it to the cylinder, and I'll show you how I made those later. And now to take the bucket off. As you can see, I have little pins holding it on. Let's get my pliers here. Take these pins out. So the whole bucket was pretty much handmade. There's not really any machines used other than a Dremel tool. All the pins are made. Take those off. That one's stuck. Here's the bucket itself. I made the hinge, on the coupler thing as well. I pretty much just copied the design. I traced it. So you can see that the design is pretty much the same exact thing. That piece was not really easy to make. The little hooks were the hardest part. And of course, I used the Dremel tool to make those, so you can see the same design. And there's a comparison to the buckets. They're basically the same size, so pretty much. This one's a little bigger. But there you go, that's the bucket. It took about 15 hours to complete with paint. And the hydraulic lines, get into those. These are pretty much like rubber band type things, and you got to be kind of creative with how I found them. These are actually screws that came from an NZG model, and the couplings for the hydraulic lines are actually the bolts that go to these screws. So you can see that they work pretty good as couplings. So those are the couplings as well. On the model, now these are all custom made. Everything was custom made, and I'll show you what these are made out of in a second. These are pretty much like metal wire. I found it lying around the house. It was used to wrap something, so that worked out pretty good. You can see more bolts, which are used as couplings, and there's more hydraulic lines down there. And I pretty much just kind of bent and shaped every piece to what it needed to be. You can see that it's got the curve in it. And on this side, same thing, but on the cylinder you got another wire. And same thing over here. It looks a lot better with the hydraulic lines. It used to have nothing at all, so that adds a lot of detail. I also added the beacon on top, which also came from an NZG model. They're extras. And the Shaw Brothers logo, I added that as well. And that's about it. But I'll show you what the stuff is made out of. Now, it's pretty much called elastic cord. And as funny as this is, it's kids' jewelry. It's perfect for hydraulic lines. It's made for the purpose of making jewelry, but it works excellent as hydraulic lines. You could find this in the craft section of Walmart. It's really cheap. You know, so as funny as that is, that's really good hydraulic line stuff. And the piping was made out of one second. It was made out of this stuff. So I just kind of straightened it out, cut it to length, and bent it to what it needed to be. And this is just a little piece. Like, I have a ton of wire, like a bunch of it. It's lying around. So I can't really tell you where to get this stuff, but it was just used to wrap fence, you know. But that's that. That's pretty much it for the 924G. So the bucket was, you know, it's pretty fun to make. It looks pretty cool. I like it. I mean, it might not be the best, but it gets the job done. If you guys have any questions or anything else, let me know in the comments. You know. So it's all made with Plastruct. It comes in these sheets, and I mainly used .30 and .20. It comes in these big sheets. As you can see, you just draw the stuff out, cut it out with an X-Acto knife. It's one of these things. What you do is just, you know, go along the lines here, and you just, you know, try and get it right on the line as straight as possible. If you have shaky hands, you know, then you're not going to have much luck with it. Using scissors, it doesn't work well just because you can't make a good cut with scissors. But that's how I made the bucket. Every piece was drawn out like this, and then it was cut out using this, and it was all glued together. It's quite time consuming, I'll give you that, but I think this is like .30 thickness, and I used .20, .30. I used, I think, like .60, or maybe it's .80. I can't remember. I just pull it off the shelf and just kind of work with it. I don't really remember the sizes or the thicknesses. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, these are the two best things used for gluing. It's the Loctite Super Glue Control Gel and Plastruct Plastic Weld. I actually put the glue on first and then seal it with Plastic Weld because it's like double strength. So these two are the best things to have around with working with Plastruct. So there you go. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.